Hey guys. All right, so I wanted to talk to you guys about the power of imagination. Okay, so imagination, I mean, when we think about imagination, most of us think of like kids playing in, a refrigerator box and stuff and, playing make believe and stuff like that. And we think of it as like something that's lighthearted, that's not really important, that doesn't really have much significance in this world. So, we kind of brush it off. It's like that's a childish thing. Like adults don't, whatever. But, there's actually a lot of power in it. And I have been like realizing this. In imagination, there are three words. The first is I. So I is referring to the self. And when I say self, I'm talking about your true self, your soul. I'm not talking about your appearance or where you work or if you're male or female or what race you are, what religion. Like, none of that has anything to do with yourself. Yourself is your soul, the essence of you. It's what you would be even if you reincarnated into another body. You see what I'm saying? So your true self. Then you have magi, which is like a spiritual person who manifests an alchemist, a shaman, a healer. It's like a person who uses spiritual power, right? Then you have nation, which is like your origin, your family, your tribe. So, it's not necessarily referring to land. It's where you're coming from. So when I look at all three of those together, I get like this energy that this is about your soul family, right? Because you have your true self, your soul, and then you have like your spiritual power, and then family, origin. All right, so I mean, I'll talk to you guys about soul families and all that stuff, but basically it's if you reincarnate lifetime after lifetime and things like this, you come across certain souls, like, and over however many million years or whatever, you form these agreements and these bonds. Like, there can be contracts, there can be karma that has to play out, things like that. But mostly it's for the purpose of helping you evolve each other. Like, you only meet soulmates and people in your soul family or your soul group when you have like done a certain amount of work on your own. So like putting that time and energy into like evolving yourself, walking your spiritual path, stuff like that, that's what helps attract your soul group. And imagination is powerful with that, because it comes from like when you're tapping into your creative energy. The thing is, like, anything you see in your mind, it's real somewhere. It's just not necessarily real here. So what I mean by that is like dreams, deja vu, your imagination. All of these things are things you see inside your mind, but they exist. That's why we say, okay, you can manifest your thoughts, because your thoughts are actually real, but you just have to put enough intention to actually attract them to you. So it's like when you're using your imagination, it's going to attract the right people. Like, the people the universe wants to put in your life will start to come, because it's like you're tuning into that higher power. Like, just by creating, like, the universe will give you visions and dreams and goals and ideas for you to do, because it deems that you manifesting what you want to see in the world would be a good thing, right? For most of us, for those of us on some positive energy, right? So it's like, if you're trying to bring forth, these creative things, you're doing what the universe has asked of you, right? So the universe wants to create harmony so that you can keep on, staying on this path and doing these things. So what it's going to do is actually repel circumstances that are not in harmony with that, and then attract circumstances that are. Now, this happens over a long period of time. So this can be, a long period of like, notice like you're losing friends, or people are distant, or these relationships kind of fall apart, and you're like, wow, like, what's going on? But what's happening is the universe is like kind of singling you out and making space for new circumstances, because as you're creating, like, the power of creating is extremely powerful in the universe. Like, that's what God does, or what we call God, the universe, the benevolent creative force, whatever you want to call it. And so it's like, like anything on the planet can reproduce. It can technically create. Like a tree produces fruit, and the fruit has seeds, so it can reproduce. Animals give birth to, you know, animal puppies or whatever. They reproduce. But humans are very unique because it's like we can reproduce physically in that way, but we also can we can create from our mind as well. Meaning I can have an idea that only exists in my mind, and then I can make it real in the world that other people can experience. Like YouTube was an idea in someone's head, and now we all experience it. That's power. So it's like when you're tuned into that universal power, the universe will work with you, but it takes time to start to manifest certain things. And in order to do that, you know, it's going to help bring in people who are attuned to your soul, because as you're creating, like I said, some of these ideas that you're having and like visions, like goals, like wow, like I feel like, you know, my life purpose is to write a book, or you know, I always have felt, you know, I want to teach people or help children, or like whatever your thing is. It's like the universe wants you to do it. That's why it gave you the idea. Like, for all you know, you might be the only person alive in the world right now that could pull off that vision. And like when you don't, now the universe suffers, because it's people who would have benefited from it, grown from it, you know, experienced some type of positivity, and now there's no positivity there. So it's like the universe will do everything it can to help you. And that has to do with like helping you evolve as far as like the people you interact with as well. So tuning into your creativity, and when I'm saying creativity and your imagination, it's not necessarily like, because some of you might be thinking, well, you know, I'm an accountant, I'm not creative, or I'm a stockbroker, I'm an insurance salesman, I'm not really creative. But it's like, you are creative. You know, even like if you do sales, you have to be creative when you're talking to these people to know how to respond to them, how to get, you know, favorable feedback from them, how to, you know, understand their needs, their wants. Like you have to strategize on the spot. You have to be able to turn negatives to a positives. That's alchemy. That's transformation. That's very creative. That's the essence of creation. If you work in an office and you come up with a new system to like file the paperwork, and it's better than the old one, it gets more done, it's more efficient, like that's transformation, that's alchemy. You're being very creative. You know, if you're a person with a good sense of humor, if you can laugh at things, like that's power in the universe too, because it's like you're transforming negatives to positive. And then you're also uplifting people. Like laughter uplifts people. It keeps you lighthearted. It helps you shed negative energy. Like you could have a really bad day, like, or something could happen. Like example, I could walk outside right now and a bird could fly over me and poop on my shoulder, right? Now I could get mad, oh my god, a bird pooped on me, like I could get angry. But you see, like now I'm about to laugh now thinking about it, because it's like, how could you not laugh at that? When you laugh at something, like like what you're doing is transforming your state of mind, because you're choosing to perceive it in the way that brings you the most benefit. Because you could perceive it in a negative way and let it ruin your day, but instead of doing that, you're laughing at it. So what you're doing is you're eliminating any negative emotion and then bringing in positive emotion. Like that's transformation. That's alchemy. That's, you know, creating. You know, that's power. So like all of those things, like it's different ways to be creative. It's different ways to tap into that. And once you start doing that, it's as though it's almost like holding a microphone up to your soul, because like your soul is now speaking, it's talking, it's interacting with the world around you. So what will happen is there will be people around you who will start to hear the voice of your soul, and some of them are not going to be feeling it because they weren't attracted to your soul. They were attracted to your personality or your looks or things that you have in common, or like it was a convenient relationship, things like that, like superficial things. But the voice of your soul, like as you continue to get louder, so you're still creating, you're still writing positive intentions, you're still meditating, you're still focusing on, you know, positive things and trying to actually create them and bring them into the world, right? So that voice gets louder, and eventually it gets loud enough that people who are attracted to your soul start to like come in. They start to be drawn to you. So it does take time. But imagination can really help. Like if you're having a hard time, especially like meeting other people on the same vibration as you, it's because your vibration is too quiet. Make it louder. What do you feel truly within your heart? Say those things, do those things, bring them forth, you know, because your soul needs to express itself in order to attract people who, you know, will even recognize or acknowledge or be attracted to your soul. It has to be a little louder. Okay, so that is all, guys. Have a good day. Bye.